Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here for our Orange Fab webinar. So today we will explain you what is the added value being part of this startup accelerator. Then we will explain you the three main topics that we will focus in innovation in 2021. Share with you the timing of the fourth season of Orange Fab, and give you some examples of successful corporate venturing stories that we had in the previous season. And we have the chance to have Ite Oren with us, CEO of Communithings, and he will share with us his testimonial on Orange Fab and his adventure during the first season. And then we will end with a Q&A session. So do not hesitate to ask your questions in the chat during the presentation, and we will answer to those questions at the end of this session. So Orange Fab in a nutshell. So the main goal of Orange Fab is to develop a business-oriented innovation project together with a startup and Orange. So that is the main goal, because we, as a corporate, we really value the assets of a startup, the agility and the expertise in some innovative domains. That's why we want to build something together. On the other hand, Orange has great assets as well, being a corporate, and we want to share those assets with the startups in order to make you grow. So what are those different assets? There are different fields. So first, networking. So at Orange, we have 4 million mobile customers with lots of different profiles, and we can do market research for you on those different customers. They are B2C or B2B. We can also put you in contact with our B2B customers, with other corporates if you have interest in. And there is also the distribution part where we can propose your product and service through our sales force to our B2B customers, but we can also propose your product and service in our shops for our B2C customers. There is a part on mentoring and training. At Orange, we are 1,500 in Belgium with lots of different expertise, and we would be happy to put you in contact with people in different departments, HR, legal, marketing, to help you on specific requests. Also, being part of the accelerator give you a direct access to C-level, and it can help you to open doors inside Orange, but also outside the company. Events. So we invite the startups that are part of Orange Fab to regional events, but also national events such as the Big Score and the Big Squeeze, or international events such as Vivatech in Paris. So Orange is sponsor of Vivatech each year, and we can invite you to have a booth under the umbrella of Orange. We also sponsor the Dakar Digital Show in Senegal, so there are lots of events and show where we can invite you to have a booth. And it leads to the last asset, which is the internationalization, because Orange Fab is part of the biggest international corporate accelerator. We are present in 17 countries, from USA to Asia, but also in Europe and Africa. And in those 17 countries, there are Fab managers. And we have very good relationship with those Fab manager, and we can easily put you in contact in those countries if you have questions on the market, if you want to be in contact with providers, customers, but also if you want to have contact at Orange in those countries, they can easily help you to find your way in the organization to meet the right people. So on the next slide, we will see the three different tracks that we will look at. A little anecdote is that every time that I say that I work at Orange in a family meeting or with friends, people tell me, oh, I have a problem with my connection at home, or I have a problem on my invoice. And I realize that people, when they think about Orange, they think about the voice, the data, and the SMS. And it's totally normal. But on top of that, we work on a lot of different innovative projects. And it's also important for the startups to know that, because sometimes I say to startups, you should join our accelerator, and they say, but we have nothing to do with Orange. But you will see in this presentation that we work on really broad different topics, and that I'm sure that your application, your product and services could completely match our needs. So the three tracks that we will focus in 2021, it's 5G. Of course, it's related to our network, but you will see that there are lots of different applications for that. Then hybrid working, hot topic since the COVID and since we are obliged to work from home. And then last but not least, smart home and all the connected device. So first, I would like to invite Madani Shafa, who's expert in 5G at Orange, part of the innovation team at Orange, and he will explain us what we already did with 5G and what are our ambitions.
Thank you, Juliette. Can you all hear me correctly?
Yes.
Okay. So hello, everyone. I hope you are doing good and keeping safe in these weird times. I'm really delighted to tell you about what we're doing on 5G at Orange Belgium. So you've heard about 5G. What are the major promises of 5G? Unmatched data throughput, ultra low latency and ultra reliability, massive machine type communications. So these are the promises of 5G. So if we go to next slide, please. What if we together could turn these promises into real experiments and real use cases? What if you, as a startup, could combine them with your own creativity and also your own experience to change the rules of the game? So the best way to design the future is, of course, to go for it. So this is exactly what we offer to you, not tomorrow, but today. We have to offer a real 5G standalone operational network that we've deployed in the port of Antwerp, which is unique in Europe in the sense that it's one of the first SA real 5G network. We've got to offer also a community of customers and partners actively engaged in a discovery journey with Orange to implement end-to-end use cases, not only connectivity, and that's important for you to understand that we're really engaged in providing end-to-end solutions and work with a large ecosystem of partners. And we also offer a team that is both technology savvy, but also real use case oriented. This is basically what we really aim at offering on 5G. So if we go next, here are a few examples of use cases across our market segments. So obviously for B2B and Industry 4.0, we are looking at augmented workers. So how can one leverage on 5G, innovative equipment, digital twins to increase productivity and worker safety also, of course, and the knowledge sharing. AI-driven automation, so auto-guided vehicles as well as smart factoring automation are hot topics within our customers and within our prospects, be it in industry or logistics. We're also looking at mission-critical communication, so how to bring security of people and infrastructure to the next level, thanks to 5G ultra reliability and thanks to I would say the built-in security features of 5G. So this is obviously what we are really looking into in B2B and Industry 4.0 segment, but we are also on the consumer side look at augmented, virtual, and mixed reality. Obviously, this can be applied to different markets. You've seen it in B2B, augmented workers, but also we can mention B2B2C in tourism, culture, entertainment. And we talking about entertainment, Orange is also closely looking at cloud gaming. Another priority for us is the 360 live communications to enable a better experience on multi-party video calls. These are the few use cases we are looking into, but obviously we are happy to consider any idea you may think is a game changer. So basically our use case is yours. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Melanie, for inspiring on this subject. Thank you. Now we will move on to the hybrid working, and Renaud Falise, expert in that field, will explain us what are the ambition for Orange in that field for the next year.
Hi, everyone. Hybrid working, it's a topic at the moment, like you had mentioned. The recent lockdown forced companies to massively adapt to work from home or hybrid working within a few weeks. And of course, it has led to some major organizational changes and not only a strong growth in digital uses like we could have thought, for instance. I see that the slides don't move. Can we? Yeah. So here are a few insights from which you can get inspired from a recent BCG survey of the Boston Consulting Group ran in last June 2020. So there's a really recent figures and insights that we can rely on. Camille, you can display all the slides, I think. So we like to tackle the challenge by taking two different points of views. From one side, we do have the employees because we are all working from home and we have different challenges and different expectations. And on the other hand, we also have the companies, and the companies have different expectations as well. For instance, the employees, so they expect, of course, a better work-life balance or a flexible work schedule. On the other hand, they are fearing of feeling isolated or for lack of social interactions. Companies expect higher productivity, of course, or maybe to make some savings in terms of costs. And they are fearing, it is quite, I think, very important, cybersecurity and data privacy, for instance, productivity drop, etc. Last but not least, we also want to mention the society, our planet, because it's key in Orange strategy to take into account this important parameter, and we'd like to be creative on this aspect too. We can move on to the next slide. Yes, thanks. So ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take up this challenge together to support our professional and residential customers. And we do believe that the key success factors of this hybrid working solution will come from those different aspects. So we have the business apps, of course, the security, as I mentioned on previous slide, very, very important and very highly ranked in the BCG survey. Communication and collaboration tools, especially I want to focus on the one because we are talking about hybrid workers, and sometimes we have several team members working from home, and the other part of the audience potentially will work at the office later on, because we are all expecting to getting back to the office, but we believe it potentially won't be like it used to be for years. Connectivity, of course, as Orange and another operator, we want to offer a strong connectivity, but we have to be excellent. And I believe this is very important too. And of course, this may be one of the most obvious too, is the equipment. But let's be creative, and there is surely something that we can do regarding the equipment too. So as a leading innovative operator, Orange is legitimate in offering its services, but must ensure that it responds to customer needs, taking into account all aspects of this transformation, and surely not by stacking just technologies. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you, Renaud, for those great explanation of all the range of things that we are looking at. And now I will welcome our Inspector Gadget, Greg. He knows all the connected devices really deeply, and he will explain the strategy of Orange in smart home.
Hello to everybody. Recently, Orange launched its smart home offer. You've maybe heard about it. It was on 1st of October, just before the COVID, unfortunately for us. This offer is commercially based on 3 different packs. A pack Smart Comfort, combining a Nest Hub, a Nest Mini, Smart Plug, Light, Smart Relax, combining a Nest Mini and a Chromecast, and a Smart Security, combining a security camera and a Nest Hub. On the technical aspects, we are based on Tuya ecosystem. Tuya is one of the world leader in IoT, mainly because of its range of products. They have more than 90,000 different products available worldwide, and they cover different protocols. Here, we made the choice of the Wi-Fi because it's an easy access for customers, but with this Tuya solution, we can also address customers and devices through Bluetooth, Zigbee, and even narrowband IoT, especially on our Orange network. Inside the home, the customer can easily manage and control his device through its smart speakers, mainly here our Google device, because we are selling them and proposing them with our partnership with Google since months. And outside the home, the customer can, through our own Orange Smart Home application, manage all those Tuya devices. This application is also compatible with both Google Assistant, but also Amazon Alexa. On the next slide, you'll see that to continue and develop this smart home environment, to be sure that we innovate, will need your help on many aspects. First of it is the ease of self-installation, because most of the time users show they are quite reluctant to install some connected device because they fear doing bad in the installation. On the second element is to help us also to provide the best customer experience, and with the best customer experience we are also sure we'll be able also to sell more device. The third is customer awareness. We know that people most of the time know well what smart home is, but they have no idea at all in which use case it will best suit their needs. And the last element, which is one also really important, more technical maybe, is connected home over IP, which is the new protocol that will be defined now and early next week by the GAFAs within the Zigbee Alliance, on which Tuya, our partner, is also part of this area. So you see that there are plenty of ways to help us, and you certainly have good ideas to share with us and to work with us on this really interesting Inspector Gadget smart home offer.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Greg, Melanie, Renaud, for all those explanations, and I hope it inspires you on what you could build and what we could build together, and to create a partnership together with the startup, with your startup and Orange. So Camille now will explain us more in details the planning of this new season.
Yes, thanks, Juliette. Hi, everyone. So, as you can see, I'm not Michael Peters, but I'm Camille Surato, working at Orange Fab. And I'll tell you a little more about the agenda for this year acceleration program. So, first, the planning for the free program. So, as you can see, we will start the year with the 5G track in early 2021. Following that will be the hybrid working track that will start in the middle of the year. And the smart home track will end 2021 for this fourth season of Orange Fab acceleration program. So in the next slide, we will zoom in a specific track acceleration timing. So here's the 5G track timeline for this year, for next year. So of course it starts with an application process. So you can already apply, and the applications will be open till the end of January. So you will have the time to ask any question if needed, to take contact with us if you want to know more about the accelerator, and so that you have the time till the end of Jan to build your project and your application. So after this application phase, we will run a pre-selection during the month of February. So we will get in contact with you to know a little more about your activity. And this selection phase will lead to the pitch contest, where 5 startups will present their project and their activities. And also, which is very important to us, you will present the way you imagine your collaboration with us and with Orange. So this is this step will lead to the last selection step, which is the assessment workshop. The idea of the workshop is to define clearly the project we will work on together for the acceleration. And the idea is to validate the fact that the project is valuable for both the company, for Orange, but also for you. So after we have the sponsorship validation from the workshop, the acceleration will start. So for the first track, the acceleration is planned to start at the end of March, early April, and will last for at least 4 months. But obviously, if the project requires a longer acceleration time, we will be able to adapt this timing. So no problem regarding this. So yes, this is the way it will run for the 5G track, and it will be the same for the other acceleration topic over the year. So I leave the floor to Juliette now that she will talk a little more about our previous season and our previous successful project.
Thank you, Camille. So yes, it is what is better to understand a project by mentioning some examples of successful stories that we had in the previous season. So as you can see, the way we can collaborate is really broad. And there are different way of collaboration. So what we did with Email Tree, for example, is the internal implementation. So we implemented their AI solution for our customer service department in Luxembourg. And now we are answering the customer complaints thanks to this application, and it is an application that we implemented at Orange. With Ovinto, we did a co-innovation project. So it means that we identified a problem at one of our customers, and together with Ovinto, with the startup, we built up a solution for these customers. And it was then a co-innovation project that we proposed and that we sold to our customers. And another way, and we can of course invent other ways further, but other thing that we did and with Communisting is a bundle offer. So now we are selling this smart parking solution to our customers, or B2B customers. And we did this partnership, and Communisting is enjoying our sales force to extend the sales. But on the other hand, we enjoy this partnership because we are allowed to to sell end-to-end solutions to our customers. And it leads to the last part of this webinar. So welcome, Ite. Ite Oren is the CEO of Communisting. So Communisting is a smart parking solution, and they focus on major mobility challenges in the city, which is the parking surge. So they assist commuters to find parking more easily thanks to the IoT technology, and more specifically wireless sensors and cameras. So as I said, partnering with Communisting Orange is very interesting because it allows us to offer end-to-end solution. So hello, Ite.
Hi, Juliette. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I have a question for you. At first, why did you apply to Orange Fab?
I applied to Orange Fab firstly because I saw the potential of leveraging the install base of Orange and their brand, and potentially also the sales force in order to commercialize our services.
Okay, thank you. And another question that I have is, what was the main added value for Communisting being part of this accelerator, and how did it accelerate your business?
So, I mean, basically, there were clear synergies that were brought together in this program from almost day one. Orange, of course, was the provider of the connectivity that we were using both for Internet of Things and cameras, so it was M2M, Narrowband IoT, etc. And then, of course, the ideation between us was very nicely kicking in from day one of the program, so that we could bring the value of our solution, and then, of course, the commercialization power of Orange in going to the market together.
Okay. And if I understand well, you still work with Orange today.
Yes, so I mean, this has been a nice journey that we've gone together with, starting from just ideation and talk together, and then slowly building the commercial offer. And today we are addressing the whole country, going after cities and corporations at the same time, and this is proving itself very nicely.
Okay.
Mute or so? I think there's some...
No, we don't hear you that well. We can hear, but yeah.
Yes, okay.
Do you hear me?
I hear you well.
Okay. And a question for the applicants, the startups that are present today, what should they bear in mind when applying to such a program and an accelerator?
So I think, and I remember the CEO of Orange Belgium mentioning when they awarded the laureates, he said that there were many nice solutions presented, but what matters for Orange is not which one is the best solution, but rather which one brings most value to Orange, and where does Orange bring most value to the contender. So each participant should bear that in mind, and from the start, think about the potential synergies between the two companies.
Yes, indeed. That's a very good point. And do you have a recommendation, or do you want to share something with people that are present in this call?
Well, I mean, firstly, in terms of recommendation, so as I said before, bear these issues in mind, and bear in mind also that a startup is an agile but very small community. You need to know that you need to have the patience to make things happen in Orange. I learned it sometimes the nice way, sometimes the hard way. But I mean, it eventually builds the right chemistry and the right DNA for the two companies together.
Okay, thanks a lot, Ite, for sharing those insights. And yeah, so now we will move on to the Q&A session. If you have questions for us as Orange, but also for Ite, do not hesitate to put it on the chat. I will ask Camille, do you have questions on the chat?
Yes, there are already a few questions. The first one is, will the presentation be shared after the event? And I can answer, I can say yes, of course, the presentation will be shared. And also, as this event is recorded, you will be able to also have our comments and our presentation with the voiceover, if I may say. Second question is, are there any limitations on the geoscope where the startup shall be founded and where the startup should be to be able to apply?
Can you repeat the question?
If there is where the startup should be operating to apply.
Okay, so the application form is on orangefab.be. So you can apply there since now. We have to. So the new website will be online as from next week, but you can already apply on our orangefab.be website, where you will find the application form.
Okay, thanks, Juliette. Another question is, if we can share a little bit more about the timing for the two other tracks and in what month do the application process will start. Maybe I can answer this one. So the second track will start after the first one. So it is planned to start during the month of April. This is what we plan to do for the hybrid working track. But obviously you can already share your applications, your questions, and your comments. It's always better if we have more time to discuss on your project and your startup. So please, if you want to apply, you can already do it, and we will share more detailed information about the timeline later on. Then a third question is there any limit on what we consider as a startup regarding the amount of employees or the longevity or the turnover? So I let you answer that question, Juliette.
Yeah, that's a good question. It's true that we talk about startup, but sometimes we make more partnership with scale up. Indeed, we need to have a company which is established and has already customers, because this accelerator is different from incubator, for example, who will help you to make your business model. At Orange Fab, we look for more scale up, or a startup, mature startup, and there is not a limit of employees. But I would say that in general we look at companies that have between 3 and 25 employees. This is not very, very strict, but so for you to have an idea of the size of the company.
Thank you, Juliette. Another question is, what are the obligations of selected startup to Orange?
Yeah, so that's an important question, because it's actually we shared with you this presentation, but this is quite of a tailor-made program, and it's very important to find a win-win together, and we will not oblige you to come to our office every week. So the important thing is that at the beginning we will set up what are your needs, what are your expectations, and the same for Orange, and we will build up this program together, and it it will be tailor-made on what are your needs in terms of training maybe, but there will be no obligation for you to participate to something that is not interesting for you.
Okay, great, Juliette. I think we have a question for Gregory. Do we have to build on top of our existing application, or can it be a completely new idea?
I would say that we are open to all propositions. What you need to keep in mind is that for the moment, we want to stay in our ecosystem with Tuya, meaning that it's an analysis we did with the Orange Group, and we define this ecosystem as the most open and the most interesting for us and for customers. So based on that, I'm totally open to any proposition to accompany you on a specific device that could bring a Tuya chipset. We're really open. And if you have doubts on this, just send us a mail, could be to Juliette or myself, and we'll get back to you for sure.
Okay, thank you, Greg. Last question. Or maybe one or two more. We have a question that asks, does Orange ask equity or anything for starting at the program?
No, so the program is completely free. As I explained, our main focus is to find a win-win relationship to build this project that helps Orange to innovate more rapidly, and in exchange we give also access to our corporate assets. But this program is free, and we don't take equity on the startup. There is no financing part of in Orange Fab, but we have how can I say that? Yeah, a department in Orange in France, which is Orange Digital Venture. They invest in startups, so we can also discuss together if you are interested to have. In that, but at first it is not the main objective of Orange Fab to invest in the startup.
Okay, thank you, Juliette. I think, do we have the time to ask a last question, maybe, and afterward? Yeah. I know there are a lot, so don't worry. If we will answer the other question after the event, and if you have any additional question, please feel free to ask us. You have our contact, and you can ask anything also in the website. So maybe the last question would be, what is the level of maturity that we ask the startup to have to join the program?
Yeah, so we ask the startup to be mature, to have already some clients. That's the important thing, that the product or service is already in place and was already sold to some customers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Do not hesitate to send us questions if you have to our email orangefab@orange.be. You will find also information on our website orangefab.be. Thanks a lot all for being here, and we would be happy to continue this conversation together. Take care and have a nice afternoon and weekend. Bye-bye.
Thanks everyone, bye-bye.
Cheers everyone.
And thank you to all our panelists and speakers. It was great to have you and to have this interactive talk with you.
Pleasure.
It was a pleasure. Thanks to all. Bye.
Bye-bye.